Yeah.
Okay, right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of the AppliedHE Squaring the Circle debate. How time flies. The motion to be debated tonight is research is an essential aspect of all universities. My name is Mandy Mock, and I'm the founder and CEO of AppliedHE. AppliedHE is the new kid on the block with the aim of creating an alternative solution in ranking, rating, and branding that better serves the need of more learning and employability-focused applied universities, which I believe are dominant all over the world. In a nutshell, AppliedHE is an international higher education service provider that specializes in evaluation, branding, marketing, and professional networking solutions. We are rooted in Asia, and we aim to positively disrupt the global higher education sector. Tonight's Squaring the Circle debate is presided over by our legendary debate master, Dr. Kevin Downing, who is the Secretary to Council and Court and Director of the Institutional Research Office of the City University of Hong Kong. Thank you very much, and thanks also to our speakers from Botswana, Malaysia, Antigua, and the UK. Kevin will provide you with a full introduction of the speakers later. Just for your information, Dr. Kevin Downing, who is also the chair of AppliedHE's Rankings Advisory Board, has published a new book about rankings, the impact of higher education ranking systems on universities. You can order it on Amazon or Google Books if you wish to get a copy. I shall now hand over to Kevin. All yours, Kev.
Thank you, Mandy. And first of all, welcome to all our participants. I see we have over 20 now. And of course, welcome to our distinguished panelists. Really good to see you all from various time zones around the world, from 8 a.m. through to 8 p.m. So some of you are breakfasting, some lunching, and some have already had dinner and are kind of ready for bed. We've got a very interesting topic to debate today. We'll do the normal thing. We will, first of all, once I've read out the topic and introduced the speakers, we will then take a vote on the proposal. And then you will get an opportunity to say whether you agree or disagree with the statement that research is an essential aspect of all universities. Research is an essential aspect of all universities. And then let me introduce the proposers. After we've had the vote, I will invite Professor Gamotso Mahai, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs in the lovely country Botswana, at the Botswana Open University in Botswana in Africa. So welcome to you, Gamotso. Really nice to see you on screen.
Thank you.
And then also proposing will be Dr. Jason Turner, who you can see on screen. Jason is Associate Professor and Head of the School of Business at the Asia Pacific University, I assume in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Is that right?
Yeah. That's correct.
Welcome, Jason. Nice to see you as well. And then opposing this stalwart team are Ms. Frances Ann Mellison. Hi, Frances, who's Senior Financial Manager, the bursar, in other words, at the University of the West Indies, Five Islands campus. Doesn't that sound nice? Antigua. So welcome, Frances. And the last but not least, the other opposer is an old friend and colleague, Professor Dr. Moritz van Rooyen, Chief Academic Officer, Global University Systems, and Rector of the University of Europe for Applied Sciences in Germany, who's speaking from the UK. Hi, Moritz.
Actually, I'm speaking from Germany to confuse you.
Yeah.
And I'm not old. You call me old, Kevin, but I'm not old.
I said old friend.
Okay. Cheers.
Okay, guys. So the first thing you need to do, and I'm looking for the icon at the bottom, Mandy, is to make a vote. Now I'm told from
Kevin, we have a problem with the vote. So in 5 minutes, we'll have to vote. I'm so sorry. I'm fixing it.
Okay, right. I wondered. I was looking along the bottom, and I've got it. The polls have turned up. Okay,
Yep, done.
great. Now this is for everyone. In a moment, I will launch the untitled poll. It says, but the poll is research is an essential aspect of all universities. You can either choose to agree, which is a yes, or to disagree, which is a no. And this is for everyone to take part in. And you have 1 minute to vote on the proposal before the speakers begin. Then we'll take another vote right at the end to see how open-minded you all are. As academics, you should be open to all sorts of different viewpoints. So let's see if that's true. I'll launch the poll now. You have 1 minute to vote. Then I'll share the results. Okay, should all be able to see the poll now. Right, now, at the moment, we've got everyone's in favor. It's 15 people have voted, more, 100% yes here. So the opposers have an uphill target, but you still have another 35 seconds or so to vote. So those of you that haven't voted, and we have 34 participants, 35 participants, and only 19 voters, come on, get off the fence, take a view for or against the proposal. You have 20 seconds left. So many of you have not voted. Only 20 out of 35 have voted. Come on, guys. And everybody's voting yes here at the moment. Incredible. Okay, I'm going to end the poll there. So if you haven't voted, you have to wait until the second vote. I've just ended the poll. I'm going to share the results with you. Right, so you should be able to see that no one disagrees. This is interesting for the opposers. No one disagrees with the statement that research is an essential aspect of all universities. Now, I think that's the first time, all the time I've been doing this, that we've had 100% vote. Let's see if we can change that. So, without further ado, I will stop sharing that for now. You just remember those results. I'm going to invite our distinguished speaker, Prof. Gamotso Mahai, to propose the motion. And I'll just remind everyone, you have 5 minutes without visual aids to make your argument. When there is 1 minute to go, you'll see me do this. Okay, and then after that minute is up, I will mute you. I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to be fair to all the speakers. So without further ado, Prof. Gamotso, your 5 minutes starts now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. So mine is to speak for the motion, which is research is an essential aspect of all universities. And I support the motion and would be the first to say that some universities generally are more research intensive than others, depending, of course, on the level of programs that they offer. To varying degrees, in my view, all universities are knowledge generating, disseminating, and application institutions. In general, we know that universities have three-pronged mission of teaching, research, and service. And in general, one would expect to find a clear relationship between these three, and in particular, between teaching and research. Now, when I was preparing myself for this debate, I thought, okay, I would want to support it from the point of view of a developing economy, from that context. And my point was that other jurisdictions that are more developed have higher education systems that differentiate the types of universities. So not only by public versus private, but by their mission, their structure, and funding patterns. And in such environments, you find that the universities place different emphasis on the levels and extent of teaching and research expected from their academics or faculty. In most developing economies, however, like Botswana, for instance, the role of the university is very clear in that they're expected to play a critical role in the economic and social development of their countries, or for national development in short. Further, developing countries or economies are looking to achieve greater participation in the global research and knowledge generation landscape. So theirs is to move away from being consumers of knowledge, as they've been labeled to be, to become creators of important knowledge that would be useful not only for local development, but also for global purposes. The other point is, let's talk about the politics of knowledge creation. They make research in universities essential. Almost all important knowledge comes from developed economies, as though other societies or economies do not have their own homegrown or indigenous knowledge that could be useful in addressing some of the world's challenges, global challenges for that matter. This means, therefore, that universities in developing economies must make research an essential aspect of what they do in order to contribute to the global scientific efforts, and more importantly, to impact on their own economies by helping to move them to become knowledge-based economies. Everybody wants to become a knowledge-based economy these days because that's the kind of environment we live in. We think that research is essential as well in our context to curb the increasing brain drain where local scientists move to developed countries and to go and contribute there and contribute to their research universities. And also collaboration and internationalization are buzzwords. They're very important these days, and they're critical if universities are to be part of that global knowledge system. So for our universities, yes, to participate in the research sphere and to grow, research and internationalization must be an essential part of what we do. I'm also of the view that research in universities is essential, as it can enhance the quality of teaching and the attributes of the graduates that emerge from such universities. The other point is that in most developing economies, the research infrastructure of universities and research institutions is not very developed. Countries in developing economies do not have well-established research institutions who are the main producers of research. And so it's critical that research is carried on in universities to contribute to this. And then finally, the promotion system of most universities, we all know, is largely based on research output, postgraduate graduation, and grants, research grants. So it makes it imperative for research to be part of what universities do. So this is the end of my submission. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you, Prof. Mohahi. You stuck very much to time there. Once I gave you that 1 minute signal, that was great. Thank you very much indeed. Very well made arguments. Thoroughly enjoyed taking them on board as well. Our numbers are growing greatly whilst you've been speaking, which is good news, because now I'm going to go to the opposition, who have what can only be described as a Herculean or Sisyphean task, which is to overcome a 100% support in the opening vote for the proposition. And with that task in front of you, Francis, I'd like to invite you to speak on behalf of the opposition. 5 minutes begins now.
Thank you for inviting me to Square in the Circle. This is your final debate for the year and my first debate in my life. How ironic. Good morning, good night, good morning from across my globe. Mr. Moderator, I would say research is not an essential aspect of all universities. In preparation to battle this debate, this controversial topic, and prove research is not essential in universities, I asked myself a few questions. The first question that came to mind, how many universities are there in the world? What is the main mission of universities? What is the main mission of universities? What are the students' population? What are the best locations conducive to learning? I checked out my best friend, Google. Google informed me that there are over 25,000 universities in the world, 25,000. Google also informed me that the main purpose of a university is that of teaching and learning, not researching. Google told me that by 2025, the student population in higher education will be doubled to 262 million, and 8 million of those students will study abroad. Student statistics to ponder on, Mr. Moderator. This is statistics to ponder on in an attempt to square this circle. Putting this topic into perspective, the ultimate question is, what is true research? What is research? As you all know, research is the collection and organization of data used to provide insight and knowledge from a specific subject. As with everything else, there are pros and cons and actions which are caused by reaction. There are advantages and disadvantages. And so is research. And the disadvantages, I will say, from a financial perspective, I can disagree with it being the essential aspect of a university. One being cost, the time, engagement, availability, and accessibility. How long? In terms of cost, the primary data may be very expensive to prepare and carry out the research. Planning can be one of the aspects that is costly. It is expensive. As sitting as a senior finance executive, I have seen how I have to contain costs. Also, time consuming. That the timing is also a negative aspect on research. The primary data collection requires the development and execution of a research plan, searching for the right fit, constantly checking and rechecking. This is time consuming and very costly. How long did the researchers take the universities to arrive at the COVID-19 vaccination? Some say years, some say it was in existence before. I will not debate that today. Another aspect of the disadvantages of research is the low engagement. With research, we try to find individuals to assist with the research, volunteers. Who wants to work for free? I don't think so. Also in collection of data, is the data accurate? During research and the collection of data, some can be accurate while most can be inaccurate. The information can be tainted and the outcome negative. Hence, the result continues to be negative. It is what the information wants you to believe. The ultimate outcome is more circulation of incorrect data. In summary, it is my opinion that research is costly and is not essential for universities. The main mission is to reach all 262 million students in the world, and by then, and make sure that they learn. Students also can choose universities not based on research, but based on the accessibility. And of course, you can come to the sunshine in Antigua, Five Islands campus. I rest my case. This is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Francis. That's very interesting, and I'd love to take you up on that invitation. I can see in our participants list there's someone that's going to support you in addition to Moritz, and that's probably Don Brody.
Okay.
He must be a colleague and friend. I know Don well, so I'm sure he'll speak and support you later. You need all the support you can get with 100% against you guys.
I
Okay.
know.
Okay, guys, over to Jason. Out of interest, Jason, with their names Jason James, do people call you JJ?
Yes.
Yes. Right then, JJ.
But over on this side of the world, they call me James, JJ, everything, any combination of. I'll accept any name, but yes.
Yeah, I get called Kelvin in Hong Kong
great.
Instead of Kevin, but it varies. Even people that know me for years, and I just can't be bothered to correct them back. Yeah. Okay. All right, JJ, could you please present your case for the proposition?
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to my partner in crime for coming over for supporting the research is essential part of all universities. I think fundamentally, so good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone, and happy Deepavali to those that are celebrating it, and to our colleagues from the Philippines. I saw that coming up in the chat. I think research is essential for everything that we do, and regardless if it's a university, regardless if it's a person or a business. I think all four of us today conducted research to support our respective arguments, to make us more informed, more knowledgeable. Now, I think when we're presented with this argument, and I think in legal terms, this would be called like an orgy of evidence in favor of universities. It is essential part, So I didn't look at every university, but I looked at a number of Russell Group universities and non-Russell Group, some emerging university colleges, etc., to look at their vision statements and find out what is the purpose of a university and what are they saying the purpose is. Now, it's saying, to be at the frontiers of knowledge, to push the boundaries, perhaps, of knowledge, to pursue and to disseminate knowledge. Now, as my colleague said, to knowledge and societal influence. So these are the two key things here. Now, when we look at that, what is underpinning this? And they're saying research. So we become more knowledgeable, so we can push the boundaries to extend what already exists and to make a significant impact amongst our graduates, amongst our stakeholders, society in general, to make a difference. That is the area of universities, to act as a safe testing ground, to create something, to establish new facts, which then those graduates will go out and disseminate amongst the society and the businesses that they work for. Now, when I was looking further, I also did a Google search, good research, and I typed in, what are the benefits of research? And it's coming up things like it's essential to students, it's essential to staff, it's important or essential to education. So even when we type in the benefits of research, it's saying it's not only to universities as a community, but also those that are engaged with it, staff, students, and as I said, society at large. Now, why? And my colleague touched on it earlier, so it's good that we dovetailed to a degree, but we're not repeating ourselves, because that just underlines the evidence that is supporting the need for research is essential. It keeps us up to date. So I agree with my colleague Francis, it underpins teaching and learning. Without research and without understanding the latest research, we are not necessarily going to be good academics, so which means that we're not going to be preparing graduates for the disruptive marketplace. So it keeps us up to date. It's part of our lifelong learning approach for both staff and students. It's part of the appraisal process in universities, again, underlining the essential nature of it. It encourages acquisition, retention of staff, students, our marketing, ranking is all important. So research ranking, research informing teaching and learning, which again is one of the aspects of the ranking process. So marketability. One minute, I'll have to rush through. I'll skip through the 4 pages of additional evidence I had and immediately, tongue in cheek, go to the conclusion. It adds value to society, to graduates, to academic staff, and to the university. Some people question universities' value. This underlines it having the latest cutting edge technology. It makes a difference to society, particularly quality and engaging research. Diminishing the role of research to less essential or non-essential would be a disservice, not only to education, but society as a whole. Thank you very much. With that, we rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. Very strong support for Prof. Gamotso. And now it's up to Moritz. If he's finished his lunch, of course, because I could see that he was clearly enjoying lunch whilst listening to you, of course, Jason. And Moritz will have the final say, speaking in opposition. And then when Moritz has finished, I will throw this open to all participants. So what I want all participants to do is look along the bottom of your screen on the right-hand side, just right of center, near where it says record or something like that, you will see a raise hand. Please start raising your hands now, and I will try to come to you in order when Moritz finishes and before we go for our final vote. Any comments you want to make for or against? Moritz, thank you very much. Your 5 minutes begins now.
Thank you, Calvin. I really fully appreciate that the audience is 100% against what we are trying to argue, and that is that research is not essential for all universities. Don't worry, as a leader of a university, I'm quite familiar with that particular feeling. It has a lot to do with my daily job, where you also have to convince sometimes your colleague that actually maybe they miss a point. So what are they missing? I think you are missing a point, because it's the way the thesis is worded, right? Research is essential for all universities. Now, if it would say research is essential for some universities, I would be 100% supporting it, because I'm myself a produce of research-led universities. I started my career doing research. I have absolutely nothing against research. I would feel there needs to be more money for research, there needs to be more public money for research, etc. The point is, all universities, really? Are we not confusing something here? What we call the work which is done in most of our universities, which is focused on scholarly work, making sure that our teachers are in step with what's happening in their sector, or the work they are doing in things like knowledge transfer and innovation, etc. That actually often is not recognized as the research. And the problem we have is what do we mean by research? And of course, that means when it comes to research, we have a bit of a preconceived idea what research is really about. And that is, wow, we are research-led universities, we have a lot of money to spend on research and so on. And therefore, you got the lesser research universities who are focusing on a little bit of kind of research, but they're obviously much lower in the pecking order. And now we have a beautiful ranking, and Harvard and Oxford and Cambridge are at the top because they spend $1 billion a year on research. And then you got other institutions who might spend only a few minutes, $1 million on research, and obviously they are the lesser universities. And that's a fundamental misunderstanding what universities are about. Universities, most of the universities, 98% are about preparing students for a successful career. We are focused on professional education. It is about serving our students to really embrace on a wonderful career, get a job, get a good job, get a satisfying job, etc. And having a meaningful relationship with our environment. That is not the same as being research active and spending a lot of money on research. Because that's the point which is being missed here, right? There is no such thing as free research. Research costs money. And when you really want to go into, well, all universities should spend money on research, when you spend a lot of money on research, what do you not spend money on? You actually might have to take that money away. Well, in fact, you have to take that money away very often from teaching. And this is where I strongly disagree. I think what is much more important for universities is to show a track record in employability, in working with companies, in working with communities, rather than the academic pack order of how many articles have I published and so on, and aren't I really good at research? It's a bit like making the mistake and thinking, well, this t-shirt must be really good because it got a crocodile on it, so let's pay extra for the crocodile. You do not get a better t-shirt because it has a crocodile, right? It is a prestige thing, research. Of course, once again, it is very important for some universities to produce the next Nobel Prize winners. Absolutely no problem with that whatsoever, but not all universities, because of all universities, we're going to play that game and actually start shifting resources away from teaching into research, as some universities sadly are doing or pressurized by their governments to do for the sake of national pride or something like that. Wow. We are going in the wrong direction. We are bankrupting our system. We shouldn't do that. We should not be tempted by that. Forget about the logos. Be the university you really need to be. Focus on the student success. Focus on professional education and research. If you want to call scholarly work and knowledge transfer research, it's fine, but it's a supporting role. And don't believe the slogan, all universities have to be great at research. Absolutely not. Thank you.
Thank you, Moritz, and thank you to all of our speakers for lively debate. I want to encourage lively debate now amongst the participants, but they're all very shy. Ah, thank goodness. Well done, Leo Lin. I've got a hand up, first hand up from Leo Lin Martin Jackson. So I'm going to shut up immediately, and I'm going to allow you to talk, Leo Lin, right now. I hope I've pronounced your first name correctly. Leolin.
Yes, thank you very much, most definitely. And thanks, Kevin. Also thanks to Mandy. It's good to see all of you and to listen to you as well. Now, for me, when you asked the first question in the survey, I was a bit hesitant because there was no third option. It was just the yes or the no. But I think it's much more complex. And I think both parties have made a case for their stance, either for research as an essential or not. For me, as I said, it is also the different types of systems that government imposes on the higher education sector that it has. Now, I know that Khomotso from Botswana University, we've got a very good relationship with UB. And I know that in the SADC region, research is being seen as the one thing that will take you to the VC ship, leadership positions and into CEO companies. But I think it's as I said, a little bit much more complex than just saying we're against it or we're for it. There needs to be a well-balanced model, and I think it was Moritz that said that, we don't want to discard that research is not important, but I do think that there needs to be a better balance between what government wants from you because they pay you a subsidy, like in South Africa, and I'm sure in Botswana might be the same as well. And based on that, I mean, when our government says to us that in the year 2050, we would like to see 5,000 PhDs within the system that's qualified, it says something about how government sees research as the one thing that they want, because research will either improve the economics or the politics or whatever. So yes, I'm on the fence, as you said earlier, Kevin. But I do understand also that some universities will have to live by the systems that they adopt from government, because that's where the subsidy comes from. And perhaps I would like to make the brave comment to say that universities should understand their role as teaching and learning. But in many South African universities, we've also adopted research and innovation as a second pillar and community engagement as the third pillar. And there needs to be a balance between the three of them.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I was not too long.
No, not at all, Ellen. Actually, I want to come back and ask you a question. It seems to me that whilst I understand that most academics always want a third or a fourth option, that's part of that's in our nature. It's kind of inbred. It's why we're academics. But one of the questions I had was, the more you were talking, the more I was thinking, actually, you're opposing the motion because you don't believe all universities that research is an essential aspect of all universities. I think what I'm hearing is you think it's a near essential aspect for some universities, but not for all universities. So I would take that actually not as sitting on the fence. To me, that's opposition. Would you like to sort of come back on that?
Yes, most definitely. I would see myself in the near essential. For me, research is quite important because it helps, and I think Moritz mentioned that, it helps companies to do research on certain things that society needs, our medical, how politicians have to run a country, and a whole host of other things that is important. But I also feel that the overemphasis on research at the detriment of the teaching and learning and community engagement must be addressed also. So that's where I am. I know my own university is also in an applied research environment, and they're trying to drive that because we want to do work-based learning and go into the workplace and find out what is necessary to be researched so that it can be applied in those sectors also.
Okay,
I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. I think actually Francis and Moritz have got at least one vote. They had 0 when they started, so it sounds as if they might have one vote from you. Thank you very much for that, Leland. Can I just ask others, please, to put your hands up? Otherwise, press the raise hands. Otherwise, I can't come to you. At the moment, we're still waiting for some. So I just want to ask a question of Francis, really, that I think is relevant to the debate. And Moritz, what would be the difference between a university and, say, a college of higher education or a polytechnic if it's not research? So Francis or Moritz, or both of you, just a brief answer to that.
Sure, and I think this is a fundamental issue with the labels, right? Where we try to pigeonhole institutions, and you've got proper universities, and then you've got other types of universities or colleges or schools, etc. And I kind of find that sad because it then forces a lot of investment in shifting up that food pack order, the food chain, which is not necessarily or actually rarely in the interest of the students themselves, if you're focusing on professional education. Now, a nice example to make it concrete is, let's say in my group, I have the University of Law, right? I would not call the University of Law a major research institution, but I would call it one of the leading institutions in the world for law. And anybody doing a law study at the University of Law, and that's many people, because obviously you cannot have enough lawyers in the world, you really focused on their career, they're very successful. They're not successful because we have a lot of research professors and we score high in the research back order. And one thing which people forget is actually we assume that research and research focus is dominant in the university sector, right? You kind of, your question implies that. But actually also in the university sector, the institutions which do carry the word university in the name, actually 98% of the students there are studying there because they want a nice career and a job. They have no interest in becoming the next Nobel Prize winner. So it's a big investment what we are making into research for actually a relatively small return. And look, I can understand the motives. It is great to be having universities which are, top ranked and all that kind of stuff. But as I said, it is a price you pay for the logo on a t-shirt, right? It's not actually what students really need. And I feel that's really why I'm so passionately against this motion, because we are taking money which is intended for helping students in their future work, etc., to actually spend more and more time in research for the sake of keeping someone in a ministry happy, or keeping our colleagues happy because they feel they're actually very successful.
Okay, I'm going to go to Francis in a sec, Morris. I've just come back and say that in some jurisdictions, there isn't that competition between learning and teaching money and research money. And actually many people, including my own president, would take the view that learning, teaching, and research are actually all part of the same thing. And I kind of heard that arguments from both, to some extent, from both sides. So I think some very interesting points. Francis, are you there, or have you gone to that beach you invited us to? Good. Francis, would you like to make your comments on the query I raised about higher education colleges and polytechnics? What is it that makes a university different if it's not research?
I agree with my colleague that it is not necessarily research is costly. And speaking from my based on my university right now at the stage we're at, we are looking at doing research, and because it's so costly and we are a startup, we are new in the group of campuses, we are the fourth landed. It is something that I have to bear in mind, at the back of my mind. We have to contain costs. So what is happening now? We are seeking grants to assist with research. And of course, I did some more research, and in the US, the grant funding basically diminishing or reducing. They're reducing the amount of money available for grants. So the difference between universities, to answer the question, and colleges, and again, I agree with my colleague, it's all about the branding. And I mentioned its availability and access where the student goes. Most persons are not necessarily looking for a brand with a Lacrosse or a Ralph Lauren. They're looking for a place where I can learn, a place where I can gain some knowledge to get a good job. So again, I still think that research is not necessarily essential for all universities. It's dependent on what they're looking for.
And I think we're into a very rich vein here, and I'm very interested in both yours and Moritz's responses. I want to go to Prof. Gamotso and Jason James. I'm calling you James now. I want to go to the two of you, and I want to ask you a slightly more nuanced question, which comes from the answers that we received to that, and that is, should perhaps research be important only at postgraduate level? Maybe research training important at undergraduate level, but should it really not really come into its own until postgraduate level? That might, to some extent, mitigate the monetary aspects that both Moritz and Francis are referring to, and allow universities to focus resources on producing the vast majority of undergraduates who go out to take up professional roles in the community. So Prof. Kogamotso, can I come to you first and ask you, and then I'll go to JJ and ask him.
Okay, right. I think research is really very fundamental to teaching, whether it is at undergraduate level or whether it is at...
Oh, we've lost you. We've lost your sound and we've got your picture, but it's frozen. Let's go to JJ for now. We'll come back to you, Prof. Gamotso. So I'm sorry, there's some some problem with the internet. JJ.
Some conspiracy there just to cut her off in her prime. Yeah, I would say it's the research skills. Let's not confuse the issue in terms of, research is an essential aspect for all universities, not necessarily the conducting of research, but engaging with research. And I think we have to be clear about the actual focus. And I think at undergraduate level, engaging with research it teaches undergraduates and postgraduates an essential set of skills of time management, planning, getting that balanced argument, which will stand them in good stead. So when we look at research is essential for everyone, the actual engagement of it, not necessarily going out there and getting grants, etc. That's one aspect of research, but the actual notion itself of engaging in research is essential to undergrads and postgrads because of the benefits it provides in terms of the skill set, which will stand them in good stead for employment.
Thanks, JJ. Can I just carry on from that? I'm sorry we lost you, but really happy we've got you. Yeah, I know. I'm really happy we've got you back.
Yes.
And I just wonder, can we just focus specifically on that issue I raised about should we look at research being the skills being taught at undergraduate level, but real research only really being done at postgrad level and beyond?
No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't agree with that. I think it's just as important at undergraduate levels that they learn the skills of research, because I don't know, but I think the world of work is continuously changing. There's a lot of change, and you need to have individuals that are able to adapt to that change. Now, how do you do that? You use the skills that you would have learned in research to be able to find out what the problem really is and how to go about mitigating or resolving it in the best way possible. So I wouldn't have that, difference between undergrads and graduate students.
Okay, no. That's great. We've actually got one more person put their hand up. I think for some reason our participants are fairly mute today, but at least the panel has been exceptionally lively. I'm going to go to Nestor. Nestor's from the Philippines. Nestor, the floor is yours. Please make your point. That's better. You're not muted now. Hi, Nestor.
Hi, Kevin. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. In view of the ranking criteria, much of the weight or percentage is given in the research publication, as well as its citation. Research is essential to teaching because I am a professor. Teachers bring their expertise to their classroom, and by actively sharing the knowledge they have gained through research, they build a professional community and shape the minds within that community. Research is essential in our everyday living. It increases the quality of life, it empowers us with knowledge, and it drives progress forward. Research is essential in day-to-day activities. Research impact is real change in the real world. There are many different kinds of impact, including attitudinal, awareness, economic, social policy, cultural, and health. It takes hard work and persistence to create impact from research. Research is an essential part of any degree program, irrespective of the field of study you are part of. In research, students will be able to analyze problems and find information related to the topic of interest to identify the purpose of the study.
Hey, Nestor,
research is essential to all the students. Yes, Kevin.
You sound like you're reading from a thesis there. It's starting to...
Actually, this is based on my experience.
Okay, I think you make a very strong point that research is an essential aspect
because
of our
I
everyday
voted
life.
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah.
I voted for. Allow me to finish it, Kevin.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so research essential to all the students. Some students find writing research paper a way to achieve all of these things in the academic life. And there are many reasons why research is essential. Thus, research is an essential aspect of all universities. This said, it requires a huge amount of investment, but are still thinking about the return on investment. That's all. Actually, this is based on my experience when we do the ranking for our university. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Okay,
Speak
Nestor.
up my mind, Kevin.
No, it's very good. I'm really pleased to hear it. I think the passion that you show in making those points is very, very important. So I take it you're very much in favor of the proposal. And I know from Leolin's comments earlier that you might have one vote, guys, Moritz and Francis, opposing. But for Nestor is definitely in favor. Now I'm just looking down through. I can't see any other hands up. So what I want to do now is to go immediately to the post vote. Now, if you remember, in the poll that we conducted at the beginning, the pre-test, if you like, for those of you speaking on behalf of research, the pre-test demonstrated that only 22 people voted, which is unfortunate, but all 22 voted for the proposal. Now, let's see how open-minded the participants are, albeit not particularly vociferous. They may be open-minded, and see if they've changed their mind. I'm now going to launch the, I've shared the results to the first poll already. I now want to launch the second poll. That's the first poll. Now, I need to get Simon and co to allow me to launch the second poll. Guys, Peter, Simon? When I go to the poll, it still has the first poll up. Hello?
Yeah, we're checking. We're not 100% sure.
Yes, it still has the first poll up. This has always worked.
This is not this is a really open game, right? This is not that you already did the polling and the results beforehand, and we know already the result before you actually have the poll, right?
This has always worked exceptionally well in the past. I don't understand. I don't understand why there's a sudden problem. Quite interesting. So let's see. I click on poll. I still get the old one.
Still the old one.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Can you not just clear the old one altogether and start again? Because we all remember it was 100% for, not hard to remember. All right, they're obviously experiencing technical difficulties. Come on, guys. Why is there a problem this time? There was no problem in any of the others.
You're not putting pressure on them, are you, Kevin?
Yeah, I am. I'm good at that. It's my job. Pressure and support. I'm encouraging them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's changing. It's changing. It's going to be at least 50-50.
Yeah. And Francis, you need to have words with Mr. Brody. Tell him he didn't speak up in your support.
Absolutely.
I think he needs to speak up.
Okay, let me try now. No, still not there. Come on, guys, no pressures, just 44 people waiting here patiently for you.
I noticed Peter has a new shoot nowadays, Kevin. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah. Actually, in that picture, he does look rather young, doesn't he, and dapper.
Yeah.
Where is he?
He's in, well, he was in Kuala Lumpur, but he's currently in port somewhere.
Yeah, I'm on holiday. This is why it's all gone wrong. I should never go on holiday ever again. Simon, shall we try and delete the first poll?
Yeah, please.
Let's see if that works. No, we're not allowed to delete it. It's very unfair.
Yes. I can't delete it.
So
can Kevin,
I'm
can
trying
you make...
to relaunch the poll. There you go.
Yeah, you got it. Ah, there
I
we
sorted
go.
it for you. Right.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'm a dinosaur when it comes to tech. I'm amazed. Okay, right. So you got 1 minute, guys. Research is an essential aspect of all universities. You agree, yes or no? Wow, the no's have got some support. So you better get voting, guys. This is looking close. Very close. Very important that only 16 of 18 have now voted out of 19. Come on, guys. This is so close. I'm really quite surprised at this, given that it was 100% for. At the moment, only 21 have voted out of 37. The other 16 have fallen asleep and dropped off their chairs. 23 out of 37. Come on, that's only 62%. Let's get it up. Let's get it up around herd immunity level, at least 70%. 64%. Come on, guys. There's still 13 of you. That's an unlucky number. 13 of you that haven't voted. That's better. 12 of you not voted. All right, I'm going to give you 10 seconds countdown. It's really close. So put your vote in now if you haven't voted. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm ending it. Okay, right. I'm going to share the results. Very interesting. There you go.
Oh.
So, although it is a victory for our proposers, if it's a Pyrrhic victory, one might say, for the historians here, because it appears that the opposers have gained 7 votes. They've persuaded 7 people. And unfortunately, another 12 people had either gone to make a cup of tea, fallen asleep and fallen off the chair, or didn't have any opinion to share with any of us. So, you know, perhaps they could spend the Christmas time contemplating their navels and deciding what they think about important aspects of their lives. Anyway, guys, I want to say, last of all, I want to say thank you to all the panelists and to Leolyn and Nestor for their contributions, to Simon and Peter for nearly getting the IT correct, to God for allowing me to find a button that allowed me to get the poll working again, to Prof. Gogomotso, thank you so much. Lovely to hear from you. And JJ, lovely to hear from you. And congratulations, the two of you, on your Pyrrhic victory, shall we say, but well done. And I want to say a warm round of applause to Moritz and to Francis in actually gaining those 7 votes. Given how
it was hard work.
Given how quiet the audience has been tonight.
Yeah.
It's really is quite surprising that you managed to sway seven people. Everyone else, there's 12.
How many debates have we had so far?
I think, Mandy, 8.
5 for this year.
No,
5
5
last
this year, right? And how does it come that every debate I have taken part of, I get the same kind of results? So I'm saying, congratulations, you won, but actually you have lost because you didn't obey the majority of the...
Morris, story of my
who
life.
actually decides who is in favor and who is against, right?
Not me. That's done by AppliedHE. And actually, I should point out to everybody, without further ado, I should have done this at the beginning, that the panelists are not necessarily arguing from a viewpoint which they agree with. That's very important. These are academic arguments. And sometimes it is very, very valuable to take an opposing view. It's a very instructive means of, I think it's called Socratic dialogue or something in the teaching texts. It's a very good way of sort of exercising your brain. So I want to thank all four panelists for what I thought was an absolutely wonderful debate. I thought level of debate was really good. And if I can just share something with Nestor and everybody else, I hope accents will remain forever. We have Moritz accent, we have Prof. Camozzo, JJ, Francis, Nestor, and Leolin, all those lovely, rich, different accents. They enrich our world. Absolutely love them myself. So thank you.
We have to work a little bit on your accent once, Kevin.
Yeah, I know.
It can be improved. Really.
You should hear my Devonshire accent, which I revert to.
Okay, go on then. Show your Devonshire accent. Go on then.
Well, now then, I'm going to hand back to Mandy Mott at AppliedHE.
Thank you.
So I can still do it, guys. Okay, so I'm now going to hand back.
I'm very thankful to you because it's my experience when I do as a moderator in all those tracks that you assign me. Especially
okay.
US Apple, US Maple.
Okay, now I'm going to need some advice from Peter, because I want to hand this back, and I'm clicking on more by my name.
No, click on AppliedHE and make AppliedHE host.
Okay, more. I got it. Make host.
Okay.
You are now host, AppliedHE.
Can I share the screen now?
You should be able to.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for the very interesting debate. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Now I'd like to express my deep appreciation to our wonderful speakers and moderator for their time and contributions, and also thank you, our participants, for joining us for this Squaring the Circle debate. This is the last debate of the year, and while this marks the end of this particular webinar, with many more events lined up in the months to come. The next season of the Squaring the Circle debate is coming your way in 2022. Now in its third year, the next debate is scheduled for March of 2022. As always, the debate will be scheduled on the first Wednesday of the month at 8 p.m. Singapore time or noon GMT. So please mark your calendars. Our immediate next webinar, session 5 of the Fireside Chat series, is also the last session for the year. And this is scheduled for 1st December 2021 at the usual 8 p.m. Singapore time and organized in partnership with Education Insight UK. The last Fireside Chat of 2021 will pose the question, professional education institutes and research institutes are more effective than comprehensive universities. Hope to see all of you on the 1st of December at 8 p.m. Singapore time. Next year, season 3 of the Fireside Chat is scheduled to kick off in April of 2022. And just like this year, it will alternate with Squaring the Circle debate, always on the first Wednesday of the month at 8 p.m. Singapore time or noon GMT. Aside from webinars, AppliedHE does a lot of other things as well. We're now in the process of preparing the AppliedHE Private University Ranking Asean, which is scheduled to be released early next year. The AppliedHE Private University Ranking is tilted towards teaching and learning and employability, which are the main strengths of private universities. Private universities are often highly innovative, high-quality institutions that serve a large group of students, but they're often undervalued in other research-heavy university rankings. We are evaluating private universities based on their key strengths and hope to shine a light on this often overlooked sector. We also launched the world's first composite world university ranking called the Rankometer in January of this year. This is a new ranking that is based on one single and transparent benchmark. To be precise, the Rankometer is a composite ranking of the world's 5 most influential world university rankings. Please look out for Rankometer 2.0 in the first quarter of 2022 for some very interesting results. In addition to launching the Rankometer in January, we also launched Future, the world's first professional networking platform created specially for the higher education sector. And Future aims to connect everyone from high school to professional career to lifelong learning for the 3 E's. They are education, employment, and everything in between. These are the most important career milestones in life, from the moment you are a high school student to being a student in higher education, to being a successful graduate, employer, entrepreneur, or even an alumni donor. And for ease of use, Future is just like any other social media. The difference is that Future provides all the relevant stuff that is important to the higher education sector. Stuff like news and information on universities, courses, scholarships, internships, research collaboration, student and faculty exchanges, resumes, jobs, industry news, lifelong learning, alumni engagement and management, and networking at all stages of your life. In short, eventually Future will include the entire higher education and career experience from leaving high school to retirement. Think of Future as the passport for life. It's free and it is the only professional networking platform you'll ever need. So please sign up for Future and encourage your friends and peers to sign up too. Recently, we launched a new feature in Future, Alumni Engagement and Management Service. Institutions of higher learning in many parts of the world have long underestimated the value of their alumni network. And we all know that investing in alumni relations can provide a high return on investment for an institution. A strong alumni engagement strategy is not built overnight, but fortunately, we can help your institution get started. Simply go to Future and sign up as a user, and you can start connecting, engaging, and managing your alumni from near and far. If in doubt, please ask us for a demo. Next, we have our e-newsletter, Extra Extra. This means we can now promote your institution news to your global target audience. So please send us your extraordinary news and press releases, or you can upload it yourself onto Future. It's yet another complimentary service from AppliedHE, so do take advantage of it. And I'm pleased to say AppliedHE now has 3 rating systems. They serve as benchmarks and marketing tools to your institution's quest for global branding and excellence. We have the all-round job-ready rating system to evaluate the quality of teaching and learning and employability of your graduates. An English-ready rating to evaluate the quality of English language instruction in non-English speaking countries. It's also a great marketing tool for the recruitment of international students. And the online-ready rating, which helps your institution benchmark and promote its online programs and courses. So do reach out to us if you would like to learn more about how these tools can translate into affordable strategies for global branding and marketing of your institution. I mentioned Kevin's new book on rankings at the start of this webinar. If you would like to get your hands on a copy, please go to Amazon or Google Books and order it online. And last but not least, as you know, we are the new kid on the block, we still are, and we're very grateful for all the support that we can get, which is why I like to take this opportunity to acknowledge all our very supportive webinar partners. A big thank you for the valuable support given to AppliedHE. Right, thanks very much, everyone. But please do not leave the room yet. We want to invite you to experience a networking atmosphere that is as creative and as close as we can get to a physical networking environment. So we're going to open the room now for a few minutes. You can see each other, say hi, introduce yourself, have a chat. You can also leave your name, contact in the chat box, and even a message of your intention if you wish. This is as much as we can do for now in the name of networking. So please turn on your cameras. Over to you now, Simon, to get our social event started. Thank you very much, everyone.
Mandy, before Simon does, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Could you just go back to that slide, the first slide on futures?
Future.
Yeah, futures, the first slide on futures.
Hang on, let me share the screen.
Just go back to that slide a minute. I got a very important question.
I hope it's not a trick question.
No.
This one?
Yeah. Why's that bloke got his pajamas on?
Because just like this
Kevin.
event where everybody is not
He's
on the
got
screen.
pajamas on.
He's not in
No,
pajamas.
Kevin, he's wearing
a tie.
Exactly.
It's
I'm
just
never
a
wearing
posh
tie
set.
Come on.
It's a
pajamas.
posh
I don't
set
know,
of
Kevin.
Singaporean silk pajamas. That's all that is.
With a tie. Do you wear
He's
a tie in
wearing
bed,
it looks like he's
Kevin?
wearing
We're
what
very
they call
smart over
a
here in Hong Kong.
I think you
Okay.
can stop sharing screen, Mandy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if everybody can try and turn on their cameras, I can do so too, but I'm on the balcony and I'm on holiday, so you can't see me.
Why do you keep saying that, Peter? That you're on holiday and you're on the balcony.
So nice.
and
I
you're
haven't
by
been on
the
holiday in 2
seaside.
years.
We
So, yeah.
hate
Peter,
you.
come on camera.
So I have an excuse, but nobody else has an excuse. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hey, Don, where are you? We're looking out for you. Don, are you dressed?
No, he's gone to the pub.
He's shy.
At midday?
We've got a non-video, Don. Oh, it's gone again.
Oh, hi, Don.
Hey, Don.
Are you so cold?
Hello.
Is London so grey and cold?
Don, you're muted. You're muted. You're talking, but you're muted.
Don, you're muted.
Oh, hi, guys.
Hi, Don.
Yeah. Hi. I was expecting to be on camera, so I'm not dressed appropriately.
That's fine. You
Hi,
look great.
hi, Don.
Hi. Hi, Francis. Yeah, I find it to be quite interesting. And, good presentation, Mandy, as usual. Yeah, and I do quite enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you got a pair of pajamas like that, Don?
Well, I'm happy. I'm happy Mandy gave the disclaimer that we didn't choose which side we're debating on, because I was prepared to say it is essential, and then I'm like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
Yes, I think you had a difficult one.
Yeah,
guys,
but
if you
you did
notice,
well. Hi,
guys,
Lily.
you notice sunshine coming through Francis' window there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Antigua for you.
Yes, Antigua. Yes. We're quite opposite here in the UK.
Yeah.
This is Germany, right?
Actually, can I just say we've got Nasir has joined us, and Nasir is calling us from Afghanistan. So
Wow.
I think he should be congratulated for his commitment to this, given the upheaval at the moment. Welcome, Nasir. You're very, very welcome.
Wen Ting Chu, where are you from?
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm from Sabah, Malaysia.
Pleasure to join.
Oh, good to see you all. Leopoldo, where are you from? Philippines?
Leopoldo. Yeah, that's a Spanish name, isn't it? Leopoldo from Latin.
You're muted.
You're muted. There was a King Leopold.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also Saint Leopold in
That's right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, very nice. And Leolin, that's a very unusual name, Leolin. Where did that come from? It kind of sounds Welsh to me.
Well, the story that had been handed down to me from my grandmother was that she was an avid reader and came across this name. It is close to Welsh, yes, in that region. I tried to find out what is the meaning of my name, and the only thing that came out from my mom's side is my son. Leo means lion. Lin has a feminine streak to it, so you're well balanced.
Do you know, it's a bit like what's the film where they have the elves? Lord of the Rings.
Oh yes,
it's kind of like an elfin name, a Celtic elfin name from Lord of the Rings. If you should have ears like mine, then you can be an elf.
Well, mine is like that.
So it's lovely to see people from everywhere. When did you say you were speaking from Taiwan?
No, Malaysia.
Yeah,
Malaysia.
Sabah, Malaysia.
Oh, Sabah, lovely,
Yes.
very nice. Like it.
And Jonah Lisa?
Jonah Lisa from Philippines.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Hi. Good to see you.
Right. Okay.
Go ahead, Mandy.
Oh no. I just want to say let's not keep everybody. We just wanted this like a it's the closest to networking that I could do. So there you go.
No, I think it's very important. It gives us an opportunity to talk, and I think it also makes us realize that despite cultural, political, whatever differences, we can all come together and learn from each other at events like this. And that's why I wanted to say, well done to Nasir and how much I appreciated him being here, because it can't be easy in higher education in any country when there's a change of leadership. So welcome, Nasir. You're very, very welcome.
Mm.
And
Thank you very much.
That's all right, Mike. A pleasure.
Great experience. Oh.
Yeah, I think everyone is very appreciative of the effort you've made to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you again, everybody, and hope to see you on the 1st of December for a really, really last one for this year, at least.
Is that a fireside chat?
That's right. That's right.
On the 1st of December.
And then we will start again next March.
Sounds good. Well, everyone stay safe. It's been a pleasure to make your acquaintance and to see some old friends. At this stage, Don and I would usually decide to go and walk down to the pub.
What time is it now?
Yeah, but given it doesn't matter what time it is, but given we're 6,000 miles away from each other, that's going to be a little bit difficult. But enjoy one for me, Don.
Okay, then I will. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Nice
Thank you.
meeting you all.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.